Oh, how's everybody? Welcome back to another video. This time we're gonna talk a bit about Fire Force and mainly Season 2 and the first 4 episodes that aired. They were also getting episode 5th, but I'm gonna do a single video on that one because I finally caught up to Fire Force. And I'm here to share my thoughts on it, what has been going on, and how good is Season 2 so far. So, let's get into it. Here we go. Just a small note, there's gonna be some spoilers, of course, if you guys haven't seen anything from Season 2, just so you know this. Now, Fire Force is an awesome series. We finally got Season 2. It's made by the same guy who made Soul Eater. You can even see it in the art style. And I actually fell in love with it since Season 1. My plan was to cover this one episode by episode, but since I started with YouTube putting more time into it, it kinda skipped through the cracks, so to say, fell through the cracks. But now that I figure out some stuff and so on, I'm actually planning to cover it episode by episode. Also, I'm gonna do the same thing with One Piece. Now, the main plot of the series, so to say, is I'm just gonna give you a TLDR, so to say. 250 years ago, in the world of Fire Force, there was a great cataclysm. Everybody burned around, the world became, so to say, covered in ash, for lack of a better word, and people started spontaneous combusting. Now, fast forward in our current timeline, people are starting to get powers. First generation, second generation, third generation, and so on. First generation are the weakest, the second can actually control flames, and the third generation can generate their own flames. We also have special kind of users that have Adola bursts that are tied to this realm of soul, so to say. When they're connected by somebody who's belonging to that realm, they get much more powerful. Now, if you want more information into that, there's also, I'm gonna assume you guys saw Season 1. But now with Season 2, let's see what exactly has been happening. I'm gonna go a bit episode by episode up until episode 4. Now, first episode is more of a semi-recap, so to say. Some very funny slice of life moments. We get to see the characters in a more normal setting, so to say. And a reminder of who exactly everybody is, what they're doing. And nice change of pace, so to say. Brings you back into the series. If it's been quite a bit of time since Season 1. Not a lot compared to most series, but still. Like a refresh of your memory, so to say. It was a pretty fun episode. I actually liked it. But the most impressive part about episode 1 and Season 2 in general of Fire Force is the animation. I think I can safely say it's one of the best, if not the best, animated series this season. The one that comes closer to it might be SAO, especially the Berkuli fight. Now, the art style, the vibrant colors, everything, the fight scenes is just amazingly done. Highly recommend the series, you guys watch it. It's very enjoyable. Now, they did a great job with the animation, the soundtrack is also amazing. Pretty much Season 2 is turning out to be pretty good. A step up from Season 1, which also had a bit of misfortune, so to say. If you guys remember the Kyoto Studio animation fire, it kind of put a damper on the series because since it's fire related, when the Kyoto animation fire happened, it was a bit weird having this series airing. They also took a break and so on. I'm not gonna get into it too much because it's a more of a serious subject, but if you guys are interested in that, and Kyoto Animation, they're starting to come back now. There was a bit of turmoil, so to say, with Season 1, with Fire Force. But still an awesome season, and now let's get back into Season 2. So, like I said, Episode 1 is a bit more a slice of life recap, so to say, a bit. Get reintroduced again to the characters. Now, we get to Episode 2, where things are starting to get a bit more serious, especially with our main character, Shinra, wanted to talk to the Captain Hagwe of the 6th, about Adola Burst and so on. But also something very interesting happens there. He gets possessed by the first pillar, which is working with the evangelist. We still don't have a lot of information about what exactly does it mean to be a pillar, except having an Adola burst. Who exactly is this evangelist guy? Exactly what does he want besides recreating the great catastrophe, so to say? More information about his organization, we need it. Maybe we'll get it later on. But, like I said, Shinra gets possessed by the first pillar and starts fighting Arthur. Now we also see this a bit of backstory about Arthur and his family. There's some problems with his family where they had a small restaurant. If I remember correctly, there was some food poisoning happening in the restaurant. It also burned out, had some bad press in the news, and his family were going through some rough stuff. Now, his father gives him, so to say, some life advice, for lack of a better term, where he says that his imagination can be the best thing for him. Now, we get a glimpse with what exactly started. As you well know, Arthur has imagination problems. He always sees himself as a knight, a king, and everything. And this was the moment where he started. His father told him that underneath the hat that he placed on his face, it's his castle and everything. He's the king. He has to protect everything. And when he wakes up, he finds a note from his parents that they went off in an adventure to save the world. Also don't get more information about exactly what happened with his parents, also with the restaurant, but it gives us a glimpse into why Arthur is the way he is. It's also a bit sad why he's the way he is. Now, this first pillar starts, like I said, starts possessing Shinra and starts attacking the captain. Also find something very funny about the captain. He seems to be a masochist. He enjoys getting burned and so on. He always, but gets lucky with his lieutenant, who has the ability to increase fire resistance. But there was also a joke that was a bit overused with the lieutenant, where he was talking while whistling with a whistle. They overused that joke a bit, to be honest. Now, during the fight, it seems Shinra doesn't really realize what he's doing, except a bit later on. He starts talking and seeing the first pillar in the Adola burst world, so to say. They're connected to an Adola burst. And Arthur is trying to bring him back, so to say, reminding him that he's a hero, what is he doing, and so on. What was curious was that Arthur actually held his own, even beat Shinra, if I'm being honest. I don't know how exactly he did it, who's stronger at this point. Granted, Shinra was possessed, he wasn't himself, but he still went pretty strong, pretty hard with his power, so to say. And Arthur still held his own. Now, of course, Shinra finally breaks through, but they also get a piece of information from the first pillar that another pillar is born, the fifth pillar. Now, everybody is gonna start going after it. We even see Omea and the new guy Charon actually being in the town where the fifth pillar will be. This was mainly the second episode, mostly setting up the next arc, so to say. Now, we get to the third episode. We see Obi trying to convince more squads, companies, to actually start fighting against everything that's going on. More investigation, actually talking to the Fire Defense Agency chief, gets his support, but they can't force all of the companies to work together. There seems to be a lot of politics and bureaucracy involved over there, everybody having their own agenda and so on, and it's still on the 8's shoulders to actually do something about it. Granted, with the support of the chief, but still not everybody working together for the same goal. Now, in the second half, we also meet this new character, which we find out, of course, she's the fifth pillar, but she has an interesting power, which she can smell, and after she smells fires, she knows where they're gonna happen before they happen. She sees them like some lines which she can follow, but also uses her power by blackmailing people, so to say. She goes to the scene where the fire is gonna happen and makes them give her their most valuable things in order to save them. So, saving them, but with a price. She also seems to be a bit insane, if I'm being honest. But we'll get to that a bit later on in episode 4. She also has 2 friends with her, or mostly lackeys, so to say. Now, right at the end of the episode, one of them dies, gets completely obliterated by Charon. I actually liked that, just the way, boof, directly, half of his upper body just went away instantly. Starting to like Charon quite a lot, he just directly destroyed that guy. Now, we get to the 4th episode, where stuff are getting more action, so to say. We see Charon versus Shinra a bit, but Charon completely overpowers Shinra in every encounter they have so far. And also, they get overwhelmed by the number of infernals happening in the town. We see the town going up in flames with everything, and Inca, of course, knew this. And everybody's trying to get her, the evangelists and the 8th. But she also, like I said, she's a bit insane. When we find out more about her in this episode, she seems to have been in a disaster, so to say, a big fire. Everything is burning around her. That's when she got her power with this. But she also lost something important, which now she seems to be very attracted to danger compared to everything else. She still gets scared, but she enjoys that feeling. Even her friends told her in episode 3. She's an adrenaline junkie. Or I don't know if there's a better term for it, but she just likes being in a constant state of fear or danger. Now, she doesn't want to go with either side. Just wants to live somewhere where she feels constantly scared. Those are her own words. And she starts running from both of them, and both of them are after her. I don't know who's actually gonna get her, but currently in episode 4, Charon's lackeys actually have her. Shinra is trying to save her, but she doesn't want him to save her. Now, also, she starts awakening more of her power, her ignition ability, so to say. Falling like some sort of puzzle labyrinth, where you start from a place, and if you reach the goal, explosion seems to happen. And the bigger the explosion, or the bigger the target you want to hit, seems the mini game in her own power seems to get more complicated. We don't know more than this, but it seems to be one of the more complex powers so far. Also, the thing that I don't want to say bothered me, but probably yes, was they got overwhelmed mainly not because they couldn't do anything against the infernals, but because they didn't want to put the infernals to rest or plainly kill them without the sisters. Even Haumea, who was just sitting in the background having fun being the control tower, I actually like that quite a lot about her. She was the one that was enjoying the disaster everywhere even more than Inca, honestly. I see that the Fire Force in general, they actually have a self-handicap with the sister. I don't know why is this, why they keep doing this. Maybe I missed something, let me know down in the comments below. But they kept delaying and slowing down the infernals instead of just putting them to rest without having the sisters' prayers. That to me just seems a bit dumb, honestly. They almost die, Vulcan and the lieutenant, but they get saved at the last moment by Karim, the guy who can freeze stuff around him. Now, most groups, so to say, they're split up across the town, get saved by Toru, by Juggernaut, and so on. But since the sisters are more of a handicap than an actual help, maybe we'll get more information about their exact purpose. Like, does it serve a purpose besides just peace of mind? Having the prayer before killing an infernal? I don't know. They also, like I said, they get reinforcements from the 5th, the 2nd. There still seems to be good people in the Fire Force compared to all the bureaucracy, politics, and everybody having their own agenda. Now, Charon is still winning over Shinra in general. Shinra is just has speed, but basically no power. It hasn't done any damage to Charon. And Charon even tells him, you're just fast. That's all there is to you. Now the episode just ends before Shinra remembers something from his training with Shimon, if I remember the name correctly, and Obi. A new form with his hand things, the way he manipulates his flow, so to say. We'll see in the 5th episode exactly what's happened. I know I'll probably skip some stuff, but this is just me trying to catch up to Fire Force, and like I said, I highly recommend the series. It's very awesome, an interesting concept with the Fire World, so to say. Let me know what you guys thought about it. My next video on Fire Force will be on episode 5, which probably be tonight or tomorrow. We'll see. Tomorrow there are also Demon King Academy, and what else was it tomorrow? SAO? I think SAO. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow. But yeah, I'm planning on covering Fire Force also episode by episode. So thank you very much. Drop a like, share, and subscribe. All that annoying stuff YouTuber says. I know. I gotta start using it more. It helps, it reminds people. So thank you very much, and I'll see you again on the next one. Have a good one, and enjoy Fire Force. Bye bye.